This is Thixton again, and I'm here today to talk to you guys about your spooky tree project. It's a really fun and exciting project that I know you guys will love, so I'm super excited to talk to you about that today. The first thing that I want to have you think about is that we're making our spooky tree silhouettes. Remember, you talked about what that word means. We're making our silhouettes at dusk. So we want to think about the kind of colors that we see in the sky at dusk. So we talked about warm colors and how you would be seeing red, orange, and yellow. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a watercolor technique called the wet on wet watercolor technique. And we're going to be filling up our whole page, our whole paper that you have here today, with warm colors to make it look like a sky. So warm colors are red, orange, and yellow. Now you know that when we're using watercolors, we always want to work from the lightest color to the darkest color. So that means that we're going to be starting with yellow. So I'm just going to make a little puddle on my watercolors, and actually I'm going to go ahead and do it on all of my colors. And onto my red, so that they're all ready to go when it's time to actually start using our colors. Okay, I'm going to put this to the side so that you can see my paper. Now, I told you that this is the wet on wet technique. So the first wet of that wet on wet is the wetness of your brush. And the second wetness is the wetness of the paper. Now, when we take our wet brush and put it on a dry piece of paper, our painting will stay right where we put it. But when we put it onto a wet piece of paper, you're going to see what's going to happen, and that's what makes this really fun. So we're going to start by using our water, and we're just going to kind of fill our paper with some wetness. Now, we're not going crazy. You should not have a puddle on your paper. It should go pretty quick. You can see I'm just painting my whole paper so that it is wet. So it's damp. Really, when I say wet, I don't really mean like dripping wet. It shouldn't be, you should definitely not have a puddle. It should just kind of soak into your paper so that your paper is wet. Okay? Now, as we talked about before, it's time to add our color. So we're going to start with our yellow, because we said that's our lightest color. And we want this to look like the sky at dusk, remember. So we're going to take our yellow and we're going to put it on our paper, and we're going to kind of smear it around a little bit. Now we want to go in our horizontal strokes. We're not going up and down. We're going in horizontal strokes, because when we look at the sky, the clouds don't go vertical. They don't go up and down. They go horizontal like this. So I'm leaving some spaces for my other colors, but when you're using your yellow, the reason we start with our yellow is that that's the color that gets overpowered the most by the other colors. So you don't want to be afraid to add more yellow, because your other colors are going to kind of soak it up a little bit. So go ahead and add your yellow. But you can see how I've kind of left some white areas. I've kind of left some spaces for my other colors. All right. Once you're done with your yellow, then you're going to move on to your orange. And this is where you're going to start to see it. So now I'm going to kind of take my orange and I'm going to go in between some of those spaces. That I've just done. And you notice I'm filling up my whole entire paper, right? My whole paper is getting filled up. I don't have any white spaces. I'm going all the way to the edge. I'm going all the way to the bottom of my paper, going all the way up here to the top, kind of filling it in. This is going to give us that spooky sunset dusk look for our background of our painting here, which is what we're going for, because this is our kind of like our spooky Halloween project that we're doing. All right, so now I have orange and yellow. So now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna add my red. And you can see how it looks almost more orange than anything else right now, right? So being careful not to overpower some of my other colors, because red will overpower very easily. So you gotta kind of be careful not to use too much. And you can see with my red especially, can you see it like in here and over here, that those colors are starting to mix together, that it's not staying where I put it. And that's the effect that we want to get. It kind of gives us that sunset look. And that's important that we had our wet paper in order to get that look. If we had a dry paper, it wouldn't do that. It wouldn't spread like that. So that's what we get when we have the wet on wet technique, and that's what we're learning for this project. All right, so here's my sky. Looks like a pretty cool sunset sky here. That should get us through our first day, and we will be working next time, because this has to dry. If we put our next color on top of this, it's going to smear like this, and we want crisp edges. So we have to let this dry, and next time you have art, we will finish with the tree silhouette. So I'll show you how to do that next time. All right, I hope you guys are having a great day. I'll see you later. Bye.